Hi, Lynton here, and this is Sketch and Tell. And this is my daughter's little dog called Daphne, who is the smallest of the dog breeds. She's a little Chihuahua. Even though she's small, she has a very big personality. But I'm not going to talk about Chihuahuas in this series that I'm doing called the Divinity of Dogs. This is the second one. I'm actually going to be going to the largest dog in the dog kingdom, and that is a Great Dane. So we'll just let little Daphne down. There we go. And before I tell a story about the Great Dane, I thought it might be good to have another art lesson, to have a go at drawing the head of these gentle giants. So if you want to pause here and get some art materials, some pastels, pencils, I'm going to guide you through step by step. Again, I begin with shapes, and I like to begin with a circle for the shape of the head. So we'll do a circle here. And for the part that protrudes out the front, I'm not sure what to call it, a snout, muzzle, the big nose, but we'll do it in a kind of a square shape like this. Just put it out the front. But Great Danes have these huge hanging jowls. So this in fact is going to be one of them, and on the other side we'll do a little triangle there. That's the other jowl hanging on the other side of the face. We'll come up and we'll put a triangle up here which will square off at the bottom. That's one of the big floppy ears. Let's put a very thick neck on our Great Dane. And then the eye. A little V with the eyeball sitting inside, so we've drawn the eye socket with the eyeball, but they have a very sad expression. They often, their eye brow above is shaped like that, so we do a bit of a sad wiggly line. That's the beginning. We'll put the nose on down the bottom, I always forget that, just a round shape there. Now we're going to round off and curve those lines to give that unique shape for our head. I'm going to use another colour to show the difference. You can use any colours you like, but for the top of the bridge of the nose here, we'll curve it down like that. Just go over the nose. And for the jowls, I'm going to do a wiggly line and curve it like that. And the other one, of course, on this side is curved as well. So we'll curve that. The eye, I might just put a little eye, that's the eyelid underneath the eye. The rest of it we can leave it. The ear, again, we'll just round it off a bit on the top and do a few wiggly lines down, round it off down the bottom. A few more wiggly lines, just following that triangle shape. The neck, I'll round this off. We'll do a bit of a curve like that, and for this one we'll curve it right around and out with a little mark there. That's going to be the underneath their neck. And for the top of their head or their skull, it's a little bit tricky, but we'll come up. This is where the other eye is going to sit, and then we'll go down and up a bit and then finish it off. So it really doesn't matter if your Great Dane looks like a little Chihuahua or any other dog. It doesn't matter. This is how we learn, and you can always change it as we go along. Anyway, it's meant to be fun. Let's now fill in with some colours, and Great Danes come in all sorts of different colours, from white to black to tan, but I'm going to use some tan colours to start to first of all block in what I have outlined, just to create the colour of the fur, and I'm just work my way around the eye. Just come over here and down the nose, block in this part of the jowl down here. Remember to curve it round. That I'll leave dark because that's going to be in shadow because it's on the inside. We'll come around, just put the ear in, just lock it in, with that tan colour, and the back of the neck will come down, block it in with that colour like so, and around like that. And that's really then given me the colour shape. We might just sort of make that a bit thicker there. I can now just add some other colours, and I'm going to use a couple of browns and orange. You might like to use other colours. Sometimes I use blues and purples. But let's go for a reddy brown. I'm going to just put a little bit in down the bottom or the top of the jowl here, and we'll put a little bit over on the ear. Again, colours for me are a way to make a painting come alive. So I'm really just feeling my way here. I just put some here, put some under there, and maybe a little bit around on the inside of the eye. Then I'm going to go for an orange, which is going to be for the eye. Again, you could colour your eye in with maybe a reddy brown or a dark brown. But I'll go for an orange, and because I'm working on black paper, I'll leave the centre black, which is that centre part of the eye. And while I've got the orange in my hand, I will mix a little bit of that into the tan that's already there. And again, that's just part of having fun with the mixing of colours. A little bit down here, a little bit down here. Then I'll go for a darker brown, which on the end of the nose or the muzzle of most Great Danes, it's darker. So I'll just colour this in with a dark brown, and we'll mix in a little bit of that brown here with what's already there. Just round it off a little bit, colour in the nose with that dark brown. I might put a little bit around the eye, redo that sad eyebrow there, put a little bit of dark brown into the ear, and a little bit down underneath the neck, like that. And then we have two more colours. These are what we use for the detail and the highlight. So with a black, I'm going to just fix up that eye a little bit, make it stand out, and do it there. Might just do a little bit for the nose hole, put a little bit more black inside the jowl, just come around, maybe even darken this off a little bit, and just outline that ear a little bit more there, underneath the neck, a little bit of that black colour. And then with the white, which is the highlight, I might just go on the top part of the skull and the nose, just to make it stand out a bit. Put a little bit here on top of that eyebrow, put a little gleam in the eye, maybe just a touch of white around here, and a little bit on the ear, around like that, and on the back of the neck. It's always good to sign off. And as you sign off, I'd like to just share a little bit about the Great Dane. I found out that, amazingly, these huge dogs were specially bred with their ability to, they wanted a dog to bring down wild boars. And so they got an Irish Wolfhound for the height, they got a Mastiff for the muscle mass, and a Greyhound for the speed, and sort of put them together and came up with these gentle giants. I forgot to put some whiskers in, so I'll just put a couple of whiskers marks here. There we go. You might like to maybe do those with a lighter colour so they stand out a little bit like that. I also found out that these gentle giants have inspired a number of famous cartoon dog characters. We have Scooby-Doo, based on a Great Dane. We have Marmaduke, the great dog detective. And there was a cartoon series a while back called The Jetsons, and their dog, Astro, was a Great Dane. I'm going to take this off and show you a Great Dane that I have spent a little bit more time on with a little bit more detail to show what you can do when you add a little bit more colour. And as I do this, I want to think back to one of the moments I kind of first got to meet a Great Dane very close up. They are tall. In fact, I can remember being down at the dog park with my own dogs, letting them off the leash for a run. There were lots of other dogs around, and then I could feel the ground shake. It was like a giant was walking across the oval, and I looked at the far end of the oval, and it looked like a horse was walking across. It was a Great Dane. And as I came up, or as the Great Dane came up with its owner close, I could just see how tall it was. In fact, in the Guinness Book of Records, the tallest dog is a Great Dane. Its name was Zeus, and it stood at 112 centimetres on all fours, but when it stood up on its hind legs, it was taller than me. 7'2" or 7.5 feet, or 2.3 metres. Their head is about that big, and they are amazing when you get close to them. But they really are a gentle giant. And I got to find that out as I got to know the owner of this dog that was down at the dog park. Its name was Samson, aptly named. But the owner was a frail, small, very elderly lady. And she and I would often just talk and chat about our dogs. And she told me that a lot about Samson and why she had this dog in her house. Because I actually thought, why would you want a large dog in your lounge room? Why would you want this giant there? Imagine how much food it takes to feed it. Imagine what comes out the other end. And she told me, no, look, these guys don't need a lot of exercise. They are really the big couch potato. They don't even bark much. They're just a quiet, gentle, affectionate giant dog. But she did tell me the main reason she got it was for its standout quality. Yes, they are loving, they are loyal, they are affectionate, but they are particularly protective of their owner and the family and the house. So you can have a young child in the family kind of playing around with this Great Dane, pulling on the ear, and you don't have to worry. But if a stranger tries to break into that house or even that yard, these guys transform. Their big jowls roll up, their teeth extrude, and they have this deep growl, which pretty much in dog language means, I'm going to rip your head off if you come a step further, closer. Now, as I thought about Samson, Great Danes, I actually thought a little bit about, again, something of maybe an insight that we could have about God's presence with us. I certainly need to know this on a daily basis, because even though I'm an adult, there are things that I'm afraid of. I don't want others to know about it, but I do find myself thinking scary thoughts. I do find myself going into places that I feel very small and inadequate to face. But it was almost as if God was quietly saying, as I thought about the Great Dane, this is like me. Now, I'm not thinking that God is a giant who wants to rip off our heads if we get something wrong. No. God was wanting us to know, wanting me to know, that we are part of God's family. That He is our protector, He is our champion, He is our Great Dane. Because when I go into a place where I'm a bit scared, I can go in with courage, knowing that I'm not there alone. I have someone with me to help me. If I'm thinking about things that again might be scary, I can ask God to give me His peace. It's interesting when you read the Bible from cover to cover. It takes a little while. But 366 times, that's one for every day of the year, including a leap year, God makes a promise. And it is this: do not be afraid, for I am with you. May you know God's giant presence with you today. And may you have a colourful day.